All right, this is Donald Kendal with another Stopping Socialism TV segment, joined as always by Justin Haskins. Justin, new article up on stoppingsocialism.com. Cancel culture goes intergalactic. NASA renames galaxy to save the world from racism. So I'm going through here. I'm thinking, well, NASA is pretty scientific, and I can't imagine that they have a whole lot of, incendiary names for their planet systems or anything like that. Well, I guess I'm wrong. It says, according to a recent NASA press release, quote, distant cosmic objects such as planets, galaxies, and nebula are sometimes referred to by the scientific community with unofficial nicknames. As the scientific community works to identify and address systematic discrimination and inequality in all aspects of the field, it has become clear that certain cosmic nicknames are not only insensitive, but can be actively harmful. Actively harmful, Justin. NASA is examining its use of unofficial terminology for cosmic objects as part of its commitment to diversity, equality, and inclusion. So, what are some of these nicknames? Well, according to NASA's press release, as an initial step, NASA will no longer refer to planetary nebula NGC 2392, the glowing remains of a sun-like star that is blowing off its outer layers at the end of its life, as the Eskimo Nebula. Eskimos are widely viewed as a colonial term with a racist history imposed on indigenous people of the Arctic regions. Justin, I mean, NASA, should they be commended for this proactive step in making sure that our indigenous Arctic residents aren't offended by planetary nebula NGC 2392?
What I want to know is, what were the Eskimos upset by this?
Well, now
Was
they're
there,
upset
like,
at this
was-
video.
was
'cause
there
you just
a-
said that word?
Was there like an Eskimo convention where they all got together and started filed an official petition with NASA? Did anybody? I mean, has anyone even heard of this before? The Eskimo Nebula?
No,
Like,
no one
this is-
has.
This is the most insane thing. I think the other example, though, from the article is even better. Did you get to that one? Yeah.
There, this one, NASA will no longer use the term Siamese Twins Galaxy to refer to NGC 2467 and NGC 2568, a pair of spiral galaxies found in the Virgo galaxy cluster.
What is that even? So why is that offensive?
Siamese twins?
Yeah.
I am no expert, but I assume, well, they're called conjoined twins. I think that's the official term now.
Well, yeah, but
twins.
okay, but what about being called Siamese is offensive? Isn't that just a place?
Right, from Siam? Is that
right? So are they suggesting that being referred to as Siamese is somehow bad, negative? I don't get it. I don't understand. Is there some kind of, it's not a derogatory term, is it? Did anyone ever say, oh, Siamese twins, like they're the worst? Like, no one has ever said that. No one has ever used that in a derogatory way. I mean, I at least with the Eskimos, as ridiculous that is, I understand the logic of it. I don't even understand the logic of the Siamese twins.
So this is completely theory, okay? So people that are more knowledgeable about this, type it in the comments, let us know. But I would assume that like the original origin of Siamese twins was like in reference to some conjoined twins that were from the region of Siam. So then they were just like given this name. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, no, I'm sure that's it. But what is offensive about that?
It would be like if the most popular set of conjoined twins came from Russia and we call them Russian twins or something. I really don't know. I really don't know.
I don't get it.
So do you think NASA is going to rename Uranus?
Yeah.
We had to throw that joke in there.
Yeah, possibly. They also said that they're not going to stop here. They're going to keep going. They won't rest until the galaxy is completely eliminated of all offensive names.
Good.
So
Right.
they said that this is, I believe is also from the press release, the agency will be working with diversity, inclusion, and equity experts in the astronomical and physical sciences to provide guidance and recommendations for other nicknames and terms for review. So
I want to be on that panel.
who are there really astronomical and physical science, diversity, inclusion, and equity experts?
Yeah.
Is that really a field?
I want to be on that panel.
Is that a major? I mean, I just don't even understand. Like, how do you get that job? I just don't even understand. This has not been a thing up until this press release. Nobody even thought of this. No one even knew what this was. I just can't. It's so insane. But again, this is the world that we're now living in, where it's just nothing is safe. Not on Earth, not in the Siamese twins galaxy or whatever we're calling it now. Not anywhere in the known universe or even the unknown universe. We will track down every name that is even slightly offensive and we will get rid of it because that's what we do now, apparently. I don't know.
So these nicknames and terms may have historical or cultural connotations that are objectionable or unwelcoming, and NASA is strongly committed to addressing them, said Stephen C., Associate Administrator for Diversity and Equal Opportunity. So that's a real life position in the universe.
This is his quote. Science depends on diverse contributions and benefits everyone. So this means we must make it inclusive.
That's right.
How does this make it inclusive?
Well, think about all of the Eskimos that are not going to try to be NASA scientists anymore because of this derogatory term that they named the nebula.
But this is the best part. It's not even the official name, which they admit early in their press release. It's not an official name. It's a nickname. And last I checked, nicknames, because they're not official, can't be changed. You can't actually, I don't care if you're NASA, you can't actually officially change the name of an unofficial thing. That's not possible. So they can have all the committees that they want, but they can't force people to use to change a nickname for something. That's just not possible. So I don't even understand what this means. I don't even understand what this is.
I want to find more like planetary, like offensive planetary nicknames, because there's got to be a whole bunch of them out there, right? This article only lists these two. There's got to be a bunch more out there.
They're working on it. They're going to hunt them down. One by one, they're going to hunt down these names and they're going to change them. And then they're going to issue press releases telling them how woke they are. And the thing about it is, again, nobody even knew that these names existed outside of NASA. So for them to issue for them to go through all this trouble to change something that no one even knew existed and isn't even an official name shows you how far we've descended into cancel culture insanity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is the end? Is there any end point? I mean, I thought that it started getting like to peak ridiculousness when we started going after all of these like sports teams and all of that. Obviously, there's like the personal stuff with people making insensitive jokes on Twitter years ago, and then they were getting dragged in front of all of this and forced to apologize and all of that. But like, is this it? Is this peak cancel culture where NGC 2392 is canceled from its nickname? Can we get much more ridiculous than this?
I don't think so. I don't think it's possible. I think we're at the point now where literally anything can be considered offensive and has to be shut down. And whatever, like, do I really care that much that the Eskimo, whatever nebula is no longer going to be unofficially called that according to NASA, which again can't change the unofficial nickname of something no matter how hard it tries. No, I don't really care that much, except for the fact that it's just insane.
Yeah. Do you know who's really upset though by it?
No.
One of those people that like bought their girlfriend's a star,
yeah,
and it was one of the stars that was inside of that galaxy, and he bought it specifically because of that.
You're right.
He's probably so upset. He probably wants a refund.
You're right. That's a great point. I also think what's interesting, so if because that's a really interesting thing, right? So you can buy star names, right? We've seen all those advertisements.
Yeah.
I don't really understand how that works. I don't know how you can buy a star name. I guess
I think it's just snake oil. Like it's
I,
completely.
but could I buy a star name and then just like name it,
Something really offensive.
something really offensive? Could I rename it Eskimo Nebula? Could I buy this nebula and then rename it Eskimo Nebula, bring it back? Like, is that possible? I don't know. Maybe the backlash will actually be worse than what it was before because these were all the unofficial names. Can I buy an official name? Is that even possible to do? Does NASA even have jurisdiction over the official names of nebulas that exist on the other side of the universe? I don't even understand how they can do this.
Man, think of other countries that have space programs that name unofficially nickname certain things that they've discovered. I bet there's some really offensive ones.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. I know. I mean, what is NASA doing there? Do we need to put this in diversity, inclusion, and equity expert army that they're putting together? We need to get that group and we need to send them over to China and Russia and other parts of the world and start negotiating immediately to make sure that all of their unofficial nicknames are also not offensive. We've got to get on this because God forbid another day goes by when the Siamese twins galaxies exists on some part of this earth in the minds of unofficially of scientists. We can't allow it. We have to.
So what you're saying is this NASA renaming of galaxies isn't going far enough.
It's not going far enough. It needs to go further. We have to. I mean, this is so stupid. I mean, and I love how they have this in the actual press release. It says nicknames are often more approachable and public friendly than official names for cosmic objects, such as Bernard 33, whose nickname is, quote, the Horsehead Nebula. It invokes its appearance, but often seemingly innocuous nicknames can be harmful and detract from the science. It's like it has not detracted from the science because nobody cares or knows anything about it. And nobody would. You and I would not be talking about this had they not issued this press release.
Oh, no. Yeah,
they've offended more Eskimos with this press release by telling them that this even exists.
Right.
Than they would if they just shut up and not said anything.
I have said the word Eskimo more times during this segment.
Absolutely.
Than probably my last 4 or 5 years on this planet.
Absolutely.
Only because of NASA bringing attention to this.
Also, the idea that I don't really know that much about Eskimos and whatever and how they feel of the indigenous people of the Arctic and whatever. I don't know how they feel about the name Eskimo. I don't really know how that name came about. I know nothing about it, but I will say that I've never heard of anyone saying that this is an offensive name. This is not. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of it once. And just because it says it has colonial connotations, because yes, the colonials who came here named them Eskimos. There was no names for anything from a European perspective, so everything has been named by a colonial person. So what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Does that mean we have to change the names of everything here because some person that can be traced back to a colonial time who said it? I don't even understand that.
I have no idea, but you get some really important stories that we talk about on stoppingsocialism.com, obviously. And then you've got goofy stuff like this. NASA renaming the Eskimo galaxy to save us from racism. So, Justin, any last words before we sign off for this little episode here?
God help us. Each and every one of us. God help us.
If you like these videos, you can find more of them at Stopping Socialism TV on YouTube. We also post a lot of our content on Facebook, Stopping Socialism, stoppingsocialism.com. As I've mentioned, we also have a Twitter, Parler, and Instagram account, so you can find us on pretty much all social media. Justin, where can people find you?
At Justin T. Haskins on Socialist Twitter and Facebook.
That's right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.